The cameras haven't even cooled down from the last storm, and already the love and hip-hop universe has been thrown into another fire, this time, one that fans swear has no way back. Picture this: Kirk Frost, the man who's been tangled in more than his fair share of scandals, is once again at the center of chaos. But unlike before, this isn't just whispers, cheating rumors, or shady hotel receipts. No, this is bigger, louder, and rawer than anything we've seen before. Because this time, Kirk didn't just slip up. He didn't just get caught in another questionable situation. He made a choice. And that choice has fans screaming across social media. It's over for good. Why? Because the word on the street is that Kirk has chosen Jasmine, yes, Jasmine Washington, over his longtime wife Rasheeda. Let that sink in for a second. The same Jasmine who once tore their family apart with baby rumors. The same Jasmine who Rasheeda swore she would never forgive. Now suddenly, Kirk is openly leaning into her, putting his marriage on the line. And showing the world that his loyalty may not lie where everyone thought it did. Emotions are boiling, trust is shattered, and fans are calling this the ultimate betrayal in love in hip-hop history. And the real kicker: the way this went down will leave you speechless. Because this wasn't just some private decision, this played out in front of cameras, family, and the entire world watching. Tonight, we're breaking down the shocking truth behind Kirk's choice, Rasheeda's raw reaction, Jasmine's bold moves, and the explosive fallout that could end one of reality TV's most talked about marriages once and for all. Buckle up, because the drama you're about to hear will change everything you thought you knew about Kirk and Rasheeda. The drama that erupted when Kirk was spotted with Jasmine again wasn't just another tabloid headline, it was a scene that had every fan glued to their screens, whispering and shouting at the same time, wondering if this was truly the end for Rasheeda and Kirk. It all began with whispers that turned into viral footage. The kind of shaky video that spreads like wildfire across Instagram and Twitter, where every frame is dissected, zoomed in on, and turned into memes within minutes. Kirk, dressed casually but looking far too comfortable, was seen walking into a quiet restaurant late at night with Jasmine by his side. Not just sitting across from her, but leaning in, laughing, and holding her hand like there were no cameras in the world. For many, that was the breaking point. After years of cheating scandals, after Rasheeda holding her marriage together through thick and thin, fans couldn't believe Kirk would once again humiliate her so publicly. Inside sources began talking, and what they revealed was even more explosive than the video. Apparently, this wasn't a one-off meeting, it was part of something much deeper. Kirk, who has always seemed conflicted between his responsibilities and his temptations, had allegedly told friends that he felt seen by Jasmine in a way he hadn't felt in years. One friend reportedly quoted him saying, "Jasmine listens to me, she doesn't judge me, and she understands my hustle. Rasheeda, it feels like she's more my business partner than my wife." And just like that, the internet lit up with debates, hashtags like #TeamRasheeda and #Kirk is cancelled trending overnight. But what made this scandal truly unforgettable was how quickly it turned into an all-out war between the people closest to them. When the footage reached Rasheeda, insiders claim she was filming a scene for Love and Hip Hop, working on a boutique project, and the producers didn't even have to push the raw, unfiltered explosion came naturally. "He really thinks he can embarrass me again. After everything I stood by him through. Nah, I'm not doing this again," Rasheeda allegedly snapped on camera, her voice shaking between anger and heartbreak. She reportedly threw down her mic and stormed off set, leaving producers scrambling. But it wasn't long before they realized the drama was too big to contain. Later that night, cameras rolled as Rasheeda confronted Kirk at their home, and the tension was unlike anything fans had seen before. "You made your choice, Kirk," she spat, her eyes blazing. "Don't come crawling back to me when the world laughs in your face." Kirk, defensive but visibly shaken, shot back, "Rasheeda, you don't understand, this isn't about some fling. I care about Jasmine, and she gives me something I don't get here anymore." That line, insiders say, was the dagger through Rasheeda's heart. To hear her husband admit he cared about the very woman who had caused her so much humiliation years ago, it was a betrayal layered on top of betrayal. Fans later claimed they could practically feel her heartbreak through the screen. But what stunned everyone was Rasheeda's response. Instead of breaking down or begging, she reportedly stood tall, staring Kirk down with icy determination. "Then go. Be with her. But when you walk out that door, don't think for a second you can walk back in." Those words echoed like a verdict, and insiders claim Kirk was left speechless. torn between his history with Rasheeda and the pull he felt toward Jasmine. The fight didn't just stay between them though. Their family, friends, and even fellow cast members began to take sides. Some argued Rasheeda deserved better and should finally let Kirk go for good, while others whispered that maybe, just maybe, Kirk and Jasmine's connection was real, no matter how messy it looked. Meanwhile, Jasmine wasn't staying silent. Known for her boldness, she allegedly took to Instagram Live the very next day, smirking at the camera with that infamous confidence. "I'm not here to play games," she said, her tone dripping with defiance. "I'm tired of being painted as the villain. If Kirk wants to be real about his life and who he cares about, that's on him. I'm not hiding anymore." Fans flooded the comments, some calling her a homemaker, others praising her for standing her ground. But one thing was clear, the tension had reached a point of no return. And just when people thought the drama couldn't get any more intense, the bombshell dropped. Kirk didn't deny it. Instead of shutting down the rumors, instead of defending his marriage, he doubled down in a cryptic post of his own. A black and white photo with the caption, "Sometimes, the heart wants what it wants. Tired of living a lie?" Those words sent shockwaves through the fan base. Was this Kirk's public declaration that he had officially chosen Jasmine? Was he really ready to throw away decades with Rasheeda for a chance at something new? The fallout was immediate. Social media lit up with memes, threads, and think pieces. Longtime fans of Rasheeda flooded her page with love and support, urging her to move on and reminding her of her worth. While Kirk's page was bombarded with angry comments, many accusing him of disrespect and betrayal. But what really got people talking was how calm Rasheeda appeared publicly. Instead of lashing out online, she posted a photo of herself looking radiant in her boutique. With a simple caption, "Sometimes peace is better than answers." That subtle clapback had fans rallying behind her, praising her strength and grace. But behind the cameras, insiders revealed she was far from calm. Rasheeda had allegedly confided in close friends, breaking down in tears, admitting she couldn't believe Kirk would actually humiliate her like this after everything they'd been through. "It's one thing to cheat," she reportedly said, "but it's another thing to choose the same woman who nearly destroyed our family once before. That's not just betrayal, that's cruelty." At the same time, Jasmine leaned harder into her role, reportedly showing up to events where she knew the cameras would catch her, flaunting subtle hints of her connection with Kirk. At one point, she was even spotted wearing a chain fans swear belonged to Kirk, sparking another round of debates and online chaos. The family was left divided, with even Kirk's own kids caught in the middle, some furious at him for embarrassing their mother yet again, others confused about where their loyalty should lie. The tension inside their home was said to be unbearable, with slammed doors, late-night arguments, and icy silences filling the air. And through it all, Kirk seemed strangely calm, as if he had already accepted the consequences of his choice. "I'm tired of pretending," he reportedly told a close friend. "I know people are gonna hate me. I know it's messy, but I can't keep living like this. I want to be happy, and right now, Jasmine gives me that." That line, leaked through whispers in the industry, was the ultimate confirmation fans needed. Kirk had made his choice, but if he thought it would be smooth sailing with Jasmine, he was sorely mistaken. Because as the tension reached its boiling point, whispers of betrayal, shifting alliances, and more secrets began to surface, setting the stage for an even bigger explosion. What no one expected was that the story wasn't as simple as Kirk choosing Jasmine and walking into the sunset, because behind the flashy Instagram posts and cryptic captions, the cracks in this so-called new relationship were already showing. Jasmine may have looked confident in public, but privately, she reportedly started pressing Kirk with questions he wasn't ready to answer. "Are you serious about me? Or am I just another scandal?" she allegedly asked during a heated argument caught on camera by producers who knew every word would be ratings gold. Kirk, caught off guard, tried to reassure her, saying, "If I wasn't serious, I wouldn't be risking everything." But the tension between them revealed something bigger. While Jasmine craved validation, Kirk was still holding back, unwilling to completely sever ties with Rasheeda, especially when it came to family and finances. Meanwhile, Rasheeda wasn't just sitting in silence. Sources claim she began quietly gathering her strength, calling on her closest friends for support and even discussing divorce with lawyers. "This time, I'm not going to let him play me for a fool," she allegedly said to one confidant. "If he thinks Jasmine is his future, he can have her, but he's not walking away clean. Not after everything we built together." Those words sent a shiver through the fanbase when they leaked online, with fans applauding her resolve, and even speculating about how much Kirk stood to lose if Rasheeda really went through with it. As the pressure mounted, Kirk found himself trapped in a whirlwind of drama. With Jasmine demanding commitment, Rasheeda pulling away with icy determination, and fans dissecting his every move. The chaos reached its peak during a family gathering that producers allegedly pushed for, hoping to capture the raw emotions on film. What unfolded was nothing short of explosive. Rasheeda arrived looking flawless but cold, refusing to even make eye contact with Kirk, while Jasmine showed up uninvited, bold and unapologetic. The tension was unbearable, as friends and family tried to mediate, but within minutes, the gloves came off. Rasheeda, her voice trembling with fury, finally confronted Jasmine face to face. "You think you won because he's sitting next to you? Girl, all you've done is expose him for who he really is: weak, selfish, and incapable of loyalty." Jasmine, never one to back down, shot back with a smirk. "Funny, because the man you call weak chose me over you. Maybe the problem isn't Amitsu." Gasps rippled through the room, and producers could barely keep the cameras steady, as fans later described it as one of the most shocking showdowns in love and hip-hop history. Kirk tried to intervene, raising his hands and pleading, "Stop, both of you. This isn't helping," but his words only fueled the fire. Rasheeda turned on him, eyes blazing, and screamed, "Don't you dare defend her to me. After all I've done for you? After all the nights I cried, all the times I forgave you. You stand here and tell me to calm down while she mocks me." The eruption left Kirk looking cornered, sweat beading on his forehead as the weight of his choices crushed down on him. But the drama didn't stop there. In the aftermath, rumors began swirling that Jasmine wasn't as loyal as she claimed. Paparazzi photos surfaced of her seen late at night with another man, fueling speculation that maybe she was playing Kirk just as much as he thought he was chasing happiness. Fans went wild with theories: was Jasmine using Kirk for fame and security, or was she genuinely torn between two lives? The betrayal cut deeper when insiders revealed Kirk had confronted Jasmine about the photos, demanding answers. "Is this what I left my wife for?" he reportedly shouted, pacing back and forth as Jasmine rolled her eyes. "You think I don't know what you've been doing?" Jasmine, unfazed, allegedly snapped back, "Don't put this on me. You're the one who can't even cut ties with your wife. Maybe I wouldn't be looking elsewhere if you actually gave me all of you instead of half." That argument, raw and messy, leaked through production whispers and became the latest bombshell in the unfolding saga. Fans couldn't believe the twist: Kirk may have chosen Jasmine, but already their relationship was cracking under the same patterns of betrayal and mistrust that had haunted his marriage. Meanwhile, Rasheeda began to glow in the public eye, posting photos with friends, business ventures, and motivational captions that screamed independence. She didn't have to say Kirk's name; her silence spoke volumes. Fans rallied behind her, filling her comments with support, calling her an inspiration and urging her to walk away for good. But behind the scenes, the hurt was still raw. In a private conversation with her mother, which producers later teased in a clip, Rasheeda reportedly broke down, saying, "I don't even know who I am without this marriage. I built my life around him, around us, and now I don't know if I have the strength to start over." That vulnerable moment struck a chord with fans who felt her pain, reminding them that beneath the glamour and drama, there was a woman fighting to hold herself together after years of sacrifice. As all this unfolded, fans noticed a shift in Kirk's demeanor. His once defiant attitude began to crack as he realized the consequences of his choice. The sight of Rasheeda moving forward without him, stronger and more radiant, reportedly hit him harder than expected. "She's not even crying anymore," he told a friend, voice heavy with regret. "She's just done." And that's scarier than the yelling. That confession, when leaked, reignited debates online. Was Kirk already regretting leaving Rasheeda? Was he realizing too late that Jasmine couldn't offer the stability he had taken for granted? The speculation only grew when Kirk was spotted alone at a bar, looking somber, no Jasmine in sight. Fans flooded social media with theories, some convinced he was already trying to crawl back to Rasheeda, others claiming he was spiraling as his world unraveled. The cracks widened further when Jasmine made another bold move, posting a cryptic photo of herself with the caption, "Loyalty is a two-way street. If you can't give it, don't expect it." The timing couldn't have been worse for Kirk. Fans immediately connected the dots, believing she was calling him out publicly for still being tied to Rasheeda in some way. The backlash was swift, with fans mocking him for leaving his queen for chaos and warning Jasmine that history was bound to repeat itself. Even cast members began weighing in, with some openly siding with Rasheeda and calling out Kirk for his selfishness, while a few defended his right to pursue happiness. No matter how messy it looked, the family was left divided, friendships were strained, and producers couldn't have scripted the drama better if they tried. But the most shocking twist was yet to come. Just as it seemed Kirk and Jasmine were heading toward a public collapse, whispers emerged that Kirk wasn't just emotionally conflicted, he had been financially entangled with both women. Documents reportedly surfaced showing he had been funneling money into Jasmine's lifestyle while still using business accounts tied to Rasheeda, sparking rumors of legal trouble and financial betrayal. Rasheeda, upon learning this, was allegedly livid, slamming her fist on the table in a meeting with producers and declaring, "He's not just breaking my heart, he's stealing from me." That revelation turned the personal drama into something bigger, something messier, with stakes higher than ever. Fans were left reeling as the saga spiraled out of control, wondering if Kirk's world was finally about to collapse under the weight of his own choices. The revelation that Kirk may have been funneling money between Rasheeda's business accounts and Jasmine's lifestyle was the kind of twist that no one saw coming. And it turned what was already a deeply personal scandal into a potential legal and financial disaster. Suddenly, this wasn't just about love, betrayal, and heartbreak, it was about money, trust, and the empire that Rasheeda had worked tirelessly to build alongside Kirk. Fans who once debated the emotional drama now began speculating about fraud, lawsuits, and whether Rasheeda could take Kirk down, not just in divorce court, but in business as well. Insiders claim Rasheeda didn't waste any time. She reportedly called her lawyers and accountants immediately, determined to find out just how deep Kirk's entanglements with Jasmine went. "If he thinks he can use my sweat, my grind, my business to fund his little fairy tale with Jasmine, he has another thing coming," she allegedly fumed, her voice shaking with both fury and resolve. Those words, when leaked through whispers on set, sparked a wave of applause from fans online who had long been urging her to cut ties with Kirk for good. Meanwhile, Kirk was crumbling under the weight of his decisions. His once gawky persona seemed to wither in the face of real consequences. According to sources, he confessed to a close friend, "I didn't mean for it to get this bad. I thought I could keep it separate, thought I could have both without anybody getting hurt. But now I'm losing everything." The irony wasn't lost on fans. Kirk, who had once prided himself on being in control, was now completely at the mercy of two women he had underestimated. Jasmine, furious at the public backlash and the financial mess, reportedly confronted him in a fiery showdown. "So what? You've been lying to me too," she screamed, her voice echoing through the walls of her apartment as cameras rolled. "You told me you were serious about me, that you wanted a future, but you're still tied to her money, her business, her name. What does that make me?" Kirk, a fool. Kirk, pacing, his hands running over his head, tried to defend himself, stammering, "Jas, it's not like that. Ty was just trying to keep things afloat. I didn't mean," but Jasmine cut him off, tears brimming in her eyes. "Don't you dare stand there and tell me you didn't mean it. You chose me, right? Then why does it feel like I'm just the side piece all over again?" That raw, emotional confrontation quickly became the talk of the town once it leaked, leaving fans stunned. Was Jasmine finally realizing she wasn't Kirk's priority, even after he publicly chose her? The drama escalated even further when Rasheeda, instead of hiding, decided to face the cameras head-on. In a sit-down interview, she opened up about the pain, the betrayal, and the humiliation. "You spend your whole life trying to build something with someone," she said, her voice steady but eyes glistening. "And then one day, you realize they've been using you, not loving you. It's a different kind of hurt." That vulnerability struck a chord with viewers who flooded social media with messages of support. Many praising Rasheeda for her strength and predicting that she would come out of this mess stronger than ever. But as Rasheeda was winning the court of public opinion, Kirk was unraveling. Friends described him as restless, unable to sleep, drinking more than usual, and making desperate attempts to salvage both relationships. He reportedly showed up unannounced at Rasheeda's boutique late one night, begging her to hear him out. "Please, just let me explain," he pleaded, his voice thick with desperation. But Rasheeda, standing tall behind her counter, gave him a cold stare. "Explain what, Kirk? That you chose her? That you drained our accounts to fund your little fantasy? No, you made your bed, now lie in it." That brutal dismissal left Kirk broken, But things only got worse when Jasmine found out he had tried to see Rasheeda. So now you're crawling back to her. After everything you told me. She shouted during another heated fight. You can't keep playing both sides, Kirk. You're gonna lose us both. And for the first time, Kirk seemed to realize she was right. He was standing on shaky ground, both women slipping away from him, and fans were merciless, mocking him online, with memes that painted him as the ultimate loser in a game he thought he could control. But the mess didn't end there. Just when everyone thought the drama had peaked, another twist hit the internet like a bombshell. Alleged text messages between Kirk and another woman began circulating online. Screenshots, whether real or fabricated, spread like wildfire, showing Kirk promising new beginnings to a mystery woman who wasn't Rasheeda or Jasmine. Fans lost their minds, calling him a serial cheater and dragging him across every platform. How many lives does this man think he has? One fan tweeted, while another wrote, Rasheeda and Jasmine should both leave him and let him drown in his own lies. The tension exploded when Rasheeda and Jasmine, for the first time, found themselves strangely aligned. Sources claim Rasheeda reached out to Jasmine privately, not to reconcile, but to share information about Kirk's financial dealings and possible infidelities. You think you're special? Rasheeda allegedly told her over the phone. You're just the next one. Believe me, I was you once. That icy warning shook Jasmine, who reportedly broke down afterward, realizing that perhaps Kirk's choice wasn't about love, but about convenience. For fans, the irony was delicious to women who once despised each other, now united by the same betrayal. The same man who played them both. As rumors of lawsuits and divorce filings swirled, Kirk's world began to collapse. His once tight grip on his image was shattered. And even his kids were reportedly distancing themselves, furious at the way he had humiliated their mother. Producers leaned into the chaos, teasing an explosive reunion episode where all three, Rasheeda and Jasmine, would face each other on stage. The anticipation was electric, with fans predicting screaming matches, tears, and maybe even physical confrontations. When the day arrived, the atmosphere was thick with tension. Rasheeda walked out first, calm but cold, followed by Jasmine, who wore a defiant smirk. Kirk entered last, looking worn down and defeated. The host wasted no time, asking the question on everyone's mind. Kirk, did you really choose Jasmine over Rasheeda? The silence that followed was deafening. Kirk finally muttered, I thought I did. But now, I don't even know what I want anymore. That confession was met with gasps, boos, and even laughter from the audience. Rasheeda shook her head, tears brimming in her eyes, while Jasmine crossed her arms, seething with rage. You don't know what you want. After all this. After dragging us through the mud, embarrassing us in front of the whole world. That's your answer. She spat. Rasheeda, her voice trembling but steady, leaned forward and delivered the final blow. No, Kirk. The truth is, you always knew what you wanted, you just never had the courage to be loyal to it. Those words landed like a hammer, leaving Kirk speechless and the audience roaring. By the end of the reunion, it was clear that whatever fantasy Kirk thought he was chasing had crumbled. Jasmine stormed off set. Rasheeda walked away with her dignity intact, and Kirk sat alone under the blinding lights, the weight of his choices pressing down harder than ever. But if anyone thought the saga was over, they were wrong, because the whispers backstage hinted at yet another twist. Something bigger than anyone could have predicted, a revelation that threatened to shatter what little remained of Kirk's reputation. Backstage after the reunion, the cameras kept rolling even though the official taping had ended. And that's where the real chaos unfolded. Kirk, sitting slumped in a chair with his head in his hands, looked like a man who had finally lost everything, while Rasheeda was seen being comforted by close friends and crew members who whispered that she had done the right thing by walking away with her dignity intact. But Jasmine, storming down the hallway with fire in her eyes, wasn't ready to let the night end without one last blow. You played me, Kirk, she shouted as she turned back toward him, her voice echoing through the corridors. You made me the villain for years. You made me believe I was different, and now you sit there acting like you're confused. You disgust me. The eruption caught everyone off guard, and Kirk, caught between shame and anger, jumped up, snapping, Don't put this all on me, Jasmine. You knew who I was when you got with me. You knew my history, and you still stay. Don't act brand new now. That explosive exchange spilled into the parking lot, where paparazzi and fans had gathered, capturing every raw moment on shaky cell phone footage that spread across the internet like wildfire. The fallout from that night was immediate and brutal. Social media erupted with clips of Jasmine's rage, Rasheeda's icy grace, and Kirk's broken demeanor. And hashtags like hashtag RASHEEDA deserves better and hashtag Kirk done for good trended for days. Fans tore into Kirk, calling him the definition of toxic and begging Rasheeda to cut him off permanently. But what no one expected was the bombshell that came just days later, when leaked documents began to circulate online. Allegedly, Kirk had not only mixed business and personal finances, but had also secretly signed assets over to Jasmine in an attempt to prove his commitment. The revelation sent shockwaves through the fanbase. Was Kirk really willing to risk his entire legacy, the Frost brand, and Rasheeda's boutique empire just to prove to Jasmine that he was serious? Insiders say Rasheeda was livid when she found out, pacing her living room and vowing, "This time, he's going to pay for everything. He's not just losing me, he's losing the life we built, brick by brick." Her legal team, already in motion, prepared to hit Kirk with divorce papers and financial claims that could strip him of almost everything. Meanwhile, Jasmine, despite gaining assets, began to feel the pressure to. Fans turned on her harder than ever, calling her a fool for taking scraps and mocking her for fighting over a man who couldn't even stay faithful for a week. In one tearful live session, she tried to defend herself. "Y'all don't understand," she said, her voice breaking. "I didn't ask for this. I didn't tell him to leave her. He made his own choices. And now I'm the one everybody blames. I loved him. Maybe that was my mistake." That raw confession earned her some sympathy, but for most fans, it was too little too late. They pointed out that she had once relished the role of the other woman and now, after finally being chosen, she was learning the painful lesson of what it meant to be with Kirk. And Kirk himself. He seemed to spiral further into regret and confusion. Friends described him as restless, unable to sit still, calling both women late at night, leaving long voicemails that were sometimes angry, sometimes tearful, sometimes incoherent. "I messed up," he reportedly admitted in one call that later leaked. "I thought I could find happiness, but I don't even know what that looks like anymore. I lost Rasheeda, I lost my family, and now Jasmine don't even trust me. What's left for me?" That haunting confession painted a picture of a man who had finally realized the weight of his decisions too late. The tension reached its final boiling point when Rasheeda and Kirk met one last time, not in front of cameras, not for the show, but privately in their home, where years of history hung heavy in the air. Sources close to them described it as the most emotional confrontation of all. Kirk, eyes swollen from lack of sleep, begged her for forgiveness. "I don't want to lose you," he whispered, dropping to his knees. "I don't care about anything else. I need you. I've been a fool, but you're my wife, my everything." Rasheeda, tears streaming down her face, shook her head slowly. "Kirk, you've said those words 100 times. And every time, you turned around and did the same thing. I can't keep breaking myself to fix you." Those words, heavy and final, marked the true end of their chapter. Kirk, devastated, reportedly collapsed into sobs, while Rasheeda walked out the door. Without looking back, her strength and heartbreak intertwined. Fans would later call that moment the real finale, not the staged reunion. Not the Instagram lives, but the quiet, devastating truth of a marriage that had finally reached its breaking point. And yet, even in that heartbreak, Rasheeda emerged as a symbol of resilience, with fans flooding her page with messages like, "You're stronger than all this, and this is your glow-up season." Jasmine, too, seemed to accept the reality, posting a simple, cryptic message. "Sometimes being chosen doesn't mean you win." But Kirk, for all his attempts to salvage his image, was left shattered, his reputation in tatters, his family fractured, and his future uncertain. By the time the dust settled, it was clear that this saga wasn't just another love and hip-hop scandal. It was the collapse of one of reality TV's most infamous couples. And the messy aftermath of a man who thought he could have it all, only to end up with nothing. The drama left fans divided, but one thing was undeniable. This time, there was no going back. Kirk had chosen Jasmine, but in the process, he had lost Rasheeda and, perhaps, lost himself. By the time Rasheeda returned to the set, her spirit was cracked but not completely broken. She had endured years of betrayal, humiliation, and gossip. But this time was different. This time, she had public proof that Kirk had fathered another child outside their marriage. And it wasn't just another fling or another rumor that could be swept under the rug. The DNA test Jasmine leaked had spread like wildfire, and it forced everyone from cast members to fans to look at Kirk with a new lens. For Rasheeda, it was as if the curtain had finally been pulled back on the play she had been performing in for over 2 decades, exposing not only her husband's infidelities but also her own quiet endurance. Kirk, on the other hand, was spiraling. His pride and denial had once given him the upper hand, but now he was caught in a trap of his own making. Every time he opened his mouth to explain, the receipts that Jasmine held ready made him look more like a liar. Even the producers, who thrived on messy drama, knew they had to tread carefully. What was once entertainment was now bordering on emotional abuse being played out on camera. The energy on set shifted. Even those who once defended Kirk began keeping their distance, realizing the optics were damning. Young Jock, Scrappy, and other castmates had whispered to Rasheeda before. But this time they went public, expressing support for her and calling Kirk's behavior disrespectful to the highest degree. For Rasheeda, it was bittersweet. Support felt good, but it also confirmed what she dreaded. She had been played for too long, and the whole world now knew it. The real breaking point came when Rasheeda's kids were brought into the mess. Social media trolls began tagging her son, and even questioning his loyalty to his mother. That was the line. Rasheeda, usually poised, finally broke her silence in front of the cameras. Enough is enough. I've given my all to this marriage. And what did I get? Lies, humiliation, and betrayal over and over again. This isn't just about me anymore. It's about my peace, my children's peace, and my dignity. The set went quiet. Even Kirk, who had always had a quick comeback, was left speechless. For the first time in years, Rasheeda's tears weren't about pain, they were about release. That declaration marked a shift, not only in her marriage but in the entire narrative surrounding them. Fans online erupted, flooding Rasheeda with messages of empowerment, begging her to finally walk away. Meanwhile, Kirk's reputation plummeted. Business deals were stalled, endorsements pulled back. And the once power couple image of Kirk and Rasheeda was shattered beyond repair. As the cameras captured Rasheeda walking out of the studio for the last time, it felt like the closing chapter of a saga that had defined a large part of love and hip-hop history. Kirk, left standing alone, finally had to face the consequences of years of choices. Whether he realized it too late or not was irrelevant. Rasheeda was done playing the role of the forgiving wife. Her future, though uncertain, now carried the promise of freedom. The producers had gotten their drama, the fans had gotten their truth. But Rasheeda had finally gotten something more valuable than both: clarity. And now, the question is, what's your take on all this chaos? Is Jasmine truly exposing the truth, or is she just playing the game to destroy Rasheeda and Kirk once and for all? Do you believe Kendra's loyalty is real, or is she hiding something even darker? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because the drama is far from over. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next Bombshell update. We promise it's going to be even wilder than this one. Stay tuned, because when it comes to love and hip-hop, the cameras may stop rolling, but the drama never does.